Hey there, everybody. Um, okay, so I got a request for a topic for a video um, that I really felt was just an amazing topic, an important topic, one that we really needed to discuss because it's something that so many people have an issue with, that I felt that it was just an amazing topic. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to do a video on that right away. So thank you to you who brought this whole topic up for me to discuss it. Hmm. Okay, so the topic is understanding love and lust and the difference between the two. Let me say this. First of all, a big part of understanding the difference between love and lust has a lot to do with your own self-love, and I'm going to tell you why as I go through and talk about these things. I wrote down a couple points that I really wanted to make sure that I didn't neglect to bring up. Now, first of all, people get confused all the time about love and lust, and I think one of the biggest reasons for that is that lust is kind of a precursor to love. Okay, so in a lot of ways, in romantic love, now we can get into the issue of people not understanding that love is not even always a romantic thing. You know, that's a hard concept for people to grasp. People immediately jump to love being a romantic thing all the time. Now, what lust really is, it's a precursor to love, okay? So, what happens is you're feeling lust to push you toward continuing the connection. So, what happens is when you meet another soul, another spirit, another being, another person with whom you could possibly have past karma with, um, you may be, there could be so many different reasons why this click is happening, okay? You have to understand that even the karma that you have with other people, you would never live out if it weren't for lust pushing you towards living it out. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happily ever after. Okay. Um, Lust is a precursor, a possible precursor to love. And it also, within a healthy relationship, is a part of the relationship. The difference with lust and love is that love has a healthy balance between love and lust is imbalanced. Okay? Lust is imbalanced. Because I was asked, what's the difference? And then, like, how do you not be confused? Like, why are people confused about the difference between the two? And how do you not be confused about the difference between the two? And the thing is, lust is imbalanced. Okay. So you meet somebody and there's a click, or, there's a sexual attraction, there is a lust there. Now, you get some people that are, if you're extremely far from self love, um, a lot of times you can just believe that that's love at first sight. Okay. If you have poor attachment issues, where you may have had traumatic experiences in your upbringing, or for whatever reason you have attachment issues, feeling that initial spark can automatically get you to thinking that you're in love. Um, so that's a whole nother thing that you have to consider. Because when people say love at first sight, um, I have a hard time completely believing in that. Okay. Even though, now this is the thing, love can happen maybe a platonic love, like just a pure, not a romantic love. I don't believe in an immediate romantic love at first sight. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's something very wrong with that. Okay, there's something very wrong with that. Now, if you meet someone and you feel like it's a love at first sight type of thing, because this is the confusion that usually happens where people meet someone, and they have this intense, and they have like a lot of lust, they have this connection there, and then they automatically think that it's some type of love at first sight thing, which a lot of that confusion comes from these stories and beliefs that we're told about love. It's these fairy tales that we're told as little kids, this prince and this knight in shining armor, and that whole thing that also plays a role in it. So we meet someone and we have a connection for whatever reason. Maybe they're there to like treat us like shit because we have karma with them. But we can't see that. We're pushed by these feelings that we feel, and we move forward with the connection, in order to carry out what the function of that connection was for. But we meet somebody, we feel an intense connection, and we automatically think that um to automatically think that you're in love with that person in a romantic way and you want to be with that person, it's unrealistic. See, that's the thing you have to look at. So how do you not get confused? Be fucking realistic. Because think about this, and this is what I mean by realistic. I want you to hear me out all the way through on this video, okay? How can you be in love with someone you do not know? Now you can do that from a place of lack of self-love. This is why I say self-love is so important. You can do that from a lack of a place of self-love, meaning that you lack self-love so much that you don't have a standard. Okay, and this is not about unconditional love. I'm gonna get into that too, because this unconditional love, you can still love somebody unconditionally, but to be in love with somebody and want to be with somebody based on a feeling that you felt and you don't know this person, that's a lack of self-love. Okay, because it's the lack of self-love that makes you not have a standard. Because I've seen it where you'll have somebody, they really want to be with this person, and you're trying to prove to this person that, you know, there's, or you wanting them to see that there's more here and that you two should be together, or whatever the situation may be. And I talk to people about this kind of stuff all the time. And you don't know this person. So then how do you know that you want to be with them? You haven't had a chance to find out anything about them. I mean, enough to be able to say that, to really be able to say that. See, the difference with lust and love, like I said, lust is imbalanced. It's imbalanced. You can be lovers, but you're not friends. Okay? So there's no friendship where you two have really gotten to know each other, which is what a healthy love would look like. There would be this balance. There would be this friendship. There would be this taking the time to be friends and get to know each other. And actually, in love, that kind of trumps the lust part. You know, lust, you have all of this sexual energy towards this person, and you think a lot about having sex with this person, but you're not thinking a lot about having deep conversation with them. You're not thinking a lot about emotional connection and things like that. So that's one way you can tell when it's just a lustful type of situation. Um, Now, lust is a precursor to romantic love. Excuse me, guys. I told you guys I have been sick all weekend. Okay, so lust is like, this is what lust can be, a precursor to actual love, but the love will take time. Um, and we're going to get into the differences of that with twin flame and soul to soul connections, okay? But love takes time because it's just the lust that connects you to initially and gives you something to kind of hold you during that process. Okay? Because there's lust, then there's like an attraction type of phase where it's like it can be almost obsessive. But if you don't move past that, it's not love. It's not true love. And every connection doesn't get to that stage. Like, that's the thing that people need to realize. People are confused because of the fairy tale, because of all of these things that they believe about love and how it's supposed to be. The stories, the fairy tales from when we're little kids and things like that. So the confusion comes in when people are not looking at these connections and seeing that just because this connection was here and it was so intense, it doesn't mean that you can never have another one. Okay? This is just a signal to you that there's a possibility for more here. But without the investigation, without the time, without the process, the due process with this situation, then it may not be a viable long-term connection. Okay? Because sometimes that intensity was there in order for you to see something, to learn something. It doesn't mean that it's a viable connection that is supposed to be there for life. And the lower your own self-love is, okay, the more you're looking for love outside of yourself, the more you need to be loved, the more you love, just the idea of love, and you just want to love so bad, and all of that, which really at the root of it comes from a lack of self-love. Because when you fill yourself with love and you take time to love yourself, you don't feel that way about love. Okay? So one way to kind of know a difference too is love is a cooler, calmer, more nonchalant, in a sense, type of feeling. Okay? It's not extremely filled with anxiety. It's not a need. Okay? Because you don't want to need love. You want to explore love, like a journey. You want to sightsee along the way. And where, if it doesn't take you where you thought you were going, you shouldn't feel depleted. When all of your love hangs on this one person, that's a sign of lack of self love. Okay? It's a sign of emptiness that you're trying to feel with this person. Because this is what happens. People meet somebody, there's this intense attraction, and because they're so empty within themselves, they don't have enough self love within themselves, they're not full enough within themselves. So you have no passion in your life. So then you feel this intense connection. There's some passion that rises up within you, and you can't let it go. You know why? Because you're so fucking depleted that this is your lifeline. This person has now become your lifeline because it is the best feeling in your world. And that is a problem. There's something very wrong with that. And that's what you need to see. Okay? Because that feeling, the way you're connected to it is based on the fact that you had no other passion in life. Okay? You were not, you know, full of love within yourself, and you needed it so bad. So you can't let go of that experience. See, but if you loved yourself and you were filled with enough self-love, you would feel more abundant within yourself. So the feeling would actually be, okay, I felt this intense connection. This could be something really great for me. But then if the other person is not, they're not meeting you there, you should let that part go. You should be able to let that part go. You know why? Because self-love will say, you know what? I don't want it. See, why don't you love yourself enough to not be able to want it? See, that's what you have to ask yourself. You shouldn't want anything. But see, a beggar wants anything, right? A person who's starving wants anything. You get it? So, like when you're starving for love, anything is acceptable. The same way, if you're starving for food, crackers is a gourmet meal. So that's what you have to look at. So be realistic. Look at the situation, the way the other person is behaving. Now, is this saying put conditions on your love? No, it's not quite the same thing. Because, see, this is the thing. You can meet someone and have a love connection with them, like a soul to soul connection where there is a love there. But see, if the love is real and the love is pure and it really is that pure type of love, it doesn't need to be romantic. So the way you would deal with that is, because that love is going to be there with this person regardless. is, and this could even be what you call twin flames, which I only use that term because that's the best way for people a lot of times to understand it. I could get into a whole nother thing about the truth about that. But the thing is, okay, even your twin flame, you meet this person, or however, you have this soul connection, there's this deep love there that you really feel in your heart. You know that you love them. But then if their behavior or where they are, see, you should love yourself enough to have a standard in terms of this. Um, and I'm not saying that you're wanting the person to be perfect, but a twin flame is like a harmonious, easy union. If it's somebody that it's not going to be, if there's not a certain matching, it's not going to be harmonious. Okay, it's not going to be easy. And a twin flame relationship is actually supposed to be the easiest relationship you've ever had. Not saying that you won't have challenges, you won't argue, you won't have disagreements, things like that. But at a core fundamental level, some of the basic core things that you need for a harmonious, healthy, easy relationship should be there. So if you meet this person and in whatever way they're, even if they are not able to, they're not at a level of maturity enough to even be able to communicate with you the way that you know you would need somebody to communicate with you. Well, that doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. But if you have self love, because you're not putting a condition on their love, like, okay, because you're immature, because you're not able to communicate with me like an adult, and for us to deal in a healthy, mature, loving, kind, considerate way with one another, that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. But I love myself, so I do have a standard that I do have to be treated a certain way. If I respect you, you have to respect me. I know that for myself right now, the best thing for me is um, a healthy, mature relationship where I have someone in my life that we can communicate, we can talk about anything, where we're able to be vulnerable, we're able to open up to one another, we're able to provide a safe space for one another. And if I cannot have that with you because of your maturity level, um, I may decide, even though I love you, you are no longer a romantic prospect for me. That's what you would do if you had some love for yourself. It doesn't mean that you would stop loving them. You may want to continue to talk to them. You may want them in your life. You may want to be friends. You may still send them, hey, I love you. You may want to give them a hug. That love is still there. But because of the nature of the relationship, this is the thing about unconditional love. Unconditional love does not mean that the nature of the relationship never changes no matter what. That is fucking ridiculous. Just be honest. Just be real. It's fucking ridiculous. And it doesn't make any sense. Because how can you, so because you love a person unconditionally, you're going to just be miserable to be with them and you're not happy with them? It doesn't make no damn sense. Okay, so unconditional love is about still loving the person, but you can change the nature of the relationship. I love you, but then maybe because of where you are, which I give you space and freedom and time to whatever you choose, whatever you want to do, I still love you. But maybe your choices, put me in a position where I have to kind of decide that to make a different choice about my relationship with you. But it doesn't change the love that's there because my love for you is unconditional. I will always love you, no matter what. But the nature of the relationship has to be different because, first of all, when you have self love, you should not be attracted to anything. I mean, what I mean by that is just anything. Because some people, when you're really lacking the love within yourself, you're really attracted to just fucking anything. A person is giving you crumbs, but see, that's what you'll take when you're a beggar for love. And you're a beggar because you have none. See, you have no love. We would only beg for that which we didn't have. Do we ever go around begging for something we got? If we got a bunch of something, do we go around begging for it? Do we go around taking any little bit? See, that's what I mean. That's what happens when you're a beggar for love. And you can only be a beggar for love, taking crumbs when you don't have enough of it within yourself. And see, that is something that you will never be able to fully understand until you experience having enough of it first. Okay, because me explaining it to you it would be like if you told a starving person, crackers is not a gourmet meal. Like there's way better shit. Like you should request other things. Like, but okay, they can hear you and they can imagine it, but until they're able to have that in front of them, crackers is the best shit smoking. You know what I mean? That's the best thing smoking, and you can't tell me no different. But that's what I mean. You're a beggar for love, and you're willing to accept things from a place of lack of self love. It's not because you're so loving. It's not because you just love them unconditionally. None of that. It feels better to think that that's the real reason why, rather than really to accept the truth that the real reason why is because you just don't have enough love within you, and you're a beggar for love. So you're willing to give a lot of love in hopes for crumbs back. Now, this is the thing with unconditional love, it's not about what you receive back. So, when you love somebody unconditionally, you don't care what you receive back from them, but um they're not coming before you. Okay? So you love them when you want to, you give them what you want to give to them. But it's not going to be a situation where you're going to keep depleting yourself and hoping to get something back from them. And you have a standard for yourself. I love you. But from what I've seen and where you are and what's going on and the things that I've, accumulated about you, I don't think that you're good for me for a romantic relationship or anything more than friends. Doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means that I love myself, and that's just not going to be good for me. See, where are you measuring what's good for you? See, lust is imbalance, and lust will have you not making those measurements. You won't be looking at self love is going to say what's good for me. And another thing about self love is not about what you want, it's about what you need. There's a balance. Okay? Lust is imbalance. Lust is all about desire, and there's not a lot of looking at, is this really good for me? Is this healthy? Does this make me a better person? Is this going to lift me up, or is this going to bring me down? When you love yourself, those are the types of things that you consider when you're looking at whoever you're going to be in a relationship with. It's the same reason you won't stay in a relationship with somebody that is completely bringing you down. Self love is the reason for that. So that's why self love is very much key to finding the kind of love that you desire. Because when you don't have that first, you actually become completely incapable of finding it, because you aren't able to measure. Not from a space of, I'm not telling you to put conditions on your love, but there should be a standard for where you not qualify, or where you categorize relationships or people in your life. Everybody you meet that you love is not somebody that is good for you to be laying down with. Okay, but lust is not going to look at that. It's just going to look at the feeling. And then the feeling doesn't go too far beyond that. There's not a balance after that. Okay, so lust will have you in a situation. This is a good way to tell if the situation you're in is lust or love. There's a strong attraction there, but it's not based on ease. Okay, it's not based on compatibility, mutual understanding, respect for one another, trust for one another, open communication. See, love cannot grow without open communication. So right there, if you're dealing with somebody that you see that the open communication isn't there, that person, I mean, if it were me, I would disqualify them as a romantic relationship. I may love them, but at that point for me, because I know we cannot go any deeper without, and it's not my job. See, we can't train people to be any different. We can't wait on them. I love myself enough to not put my whole life on hold, waiting on you to, I'm not going to do that. I'll love you. Let's be friends. I may try to find some other area of my life to keep you in my life because I love you. But romantic and to get involved, and then I'm going to entangle my energy with yours, and your energy is here, and I know I don't want to be there. I'm not interested in a romantic relationship at that point. There should be a process happening. So what happens is a lot of people have that lust, and then the relationship never makes it to the love phase, because for love to really be there, you have to know the person fully. Okay. So that person has to be willing to reveal themselves to you and you to them. If they're not revealing themselves, they're leaving too much for you not to know. It's like, I want to love you. See, you can feel that connection there, and there's this love here, but I can't love you deeper because you're not giving me deeper. You're not giving me more of you to love. So how can you love someone and you say, because I'll get people like that and I'll do readings for them and they'll say, I love this person and I love everything about them. I love them no matter what. And then you can ask them what's their favorite food and they don't fucking know. Well, how do you love all of a person that you don't even know? Okay, yeah, okay. You can love them, but how are you in love? How are you pining away, waiting years, wanting this relationship to come together? And there's not even a friendship between the two of you. If they were, if they were a real friend in that way, you would know so much more about them. And that's the qualifying process. It's like the way it's really supposed to work is you have that connection, and the intensity of it can tell you the potential. Okay, that's all that the intensity of the initial attraction is really telling you. It's just telling you the potential, nothing more. It's not giving you a map. It's not telling you that this is the person you're supposed to be with, because I am telling you from experience, you can have that over and over again. You can feel that same level intensity and have that connection with somebody else. And you know that, and you will have that and attract that to yourself once you have the self-love. See, from a place of a lack of self-love, you can't even get to that point. But this universe is so abundant, and the love is so abundant in this universe. Trust me. Love and connections, when you're so filled with love, they can run like buses. You'll meet another one and another one and another one. It almost gets to a point where it's like another one bites the dust, because see, you can have this connection with multiple people. But those special ones, these are the relationships that really do have the potential. That's what that initial zest, where it's really, really strong, it's telling you one of two things. You and this motherfucker got some real karma that y'all about to work out. Or, there's a strong potential there. So all you're supposed to be looking at that point is, which way is this going? And you're supposed to be allowing it to show you the way. You're not supposed to be so desperate for love and lacking so much love within yourself that you're deciding where it's going before you have a chance to see if it unfolds in that direction. That's the healthy way. It's like, okay, we have something here. There's a strong something here. I want to explore it. Let's see where it's going to lead us. Okay. And then from that step, that's when you want to look at how they're communicating with you. How much of yourselves are you revealing to each other? And then as you're revealing yourselves more and more to each other, are you finding that you like them more? Like, okay, give me more. Oh, I still like it. That's how you want it to be. Oh, give me more. Yeah, I still like it. Yeah, I still like you. You want it to keep coming. You want to get engaged with them, in that way where you want to keep giving them more of you, and then you take in more of them. And then it's not going to be a stage where you can have like a really harmonious union, or what they call a twin flame union with someone, until it gets to a point where you continue to reveal on a really deep level, a deep emotional level. You shared real feelings. Um and I'm not talking about just feelings of, oh, I love you. I'm talking deeper than that, like deep feelings, your deepest fears, your pains, your thoughts on various things. And it's like, as you peel back those layers of each other, as you strip, okay? Because see, lust is all about just stripping out of your clothes. But if you want to talk about love, we're talking about stripping all the way down. Okay? We talking about real naked. Okay? We're not talking about just taking off clothes. So as you're revealing yourselves and you're becoming more and more naked with one another, you find that you still accept them. They still accept you. The love is still there. There's nothing hidden between you. That is the only way you're going to ever have that real thing that everybody's looking for. That's going to be the one. Okay? So there is no meeting the one and you automatically know it. There's a potential for that one to be the one. But the revealing, the unveiling has to occur, or how can you know that? See, the only way you're going to meet somebody and they're automatically the one because we felt the connection, we felt an attraction, is when you're lacking the love within yourself. So you're begging, you're so thirsty, you're so starving that you're hooked onto that immediately because it's your lifeline. You ain't got no love without it. You ain't passionate without it. If they not here to turn you on, you just turned off. That's not the way it's supposed to be. It has to be a balance. So the biggest reason that people are getting confused is a lack of self-love. You can't see clear. You can't measure clear. You can't allow things to happen. You need to make it happen. You need for it to hurry up because without it, you're depleted, which is codependency. So really you want to get to where there's no codependency in you. And the way to not be confused is look at the unveiling. Are you unveiling yourselves to one another? Both of you have to be doing it. You can kick it off, but if they can't meet you there, they can't do that with you. They're not there for whatever reason. So at that point, it doesn't matter about the love in terms of continuing with a romantic relationship. You can both maintain the love, even if you know that they have a love for you, you have a love for them. They can't meet you. They can't give you the satisfaction that you're really looking for. So you're going to hang around and wait on it? Or even worse, beg for it? Or try to earn it? That's coming from the place of a beggar. At that point, you shouldn't even be attracted. You have to ask yourself, when you're not starting to lose the romantic attraction, you don't lose the love, but there's a difference. You don't have to lose the love, but you should definitely be losing the attraction. If you're not losing the attraction, when somebody is ignoring you, when somebody is not giving you them, they're not emotionally being available to you. They don't have this, they're not showing you that they feel the same way that you do, and you're not losing the attraction. You don't lose the love, but you're missing something within yourself if you're not losing the attraction. You might still have the lust because there's still that potential if that other person, but who knows? You gotta There can be another connection. There can be another attraction. There can be, actually, they can get even more intense than the one that you thought was so intense. They really can. You can have it again. So when somebody says, is it possible for a person to have more than one twin flame? I believe so. Because you can feel that same type of connection with multiple people. And you can feel it at the same time. When you have one that you're like, okay, you know what? You're disqualified for romantic, but I love you. You do have that love in your heart. You have a genuine care and love and concern for this person. And you can't change that no matter what they do in your heart. In your heart, you love them. So you keep them in your life, but then you may find another connection. And this one may be more romantically viable. And you may engage in that connection, but then you still have this love connection that you have with this person who you're absolutely unwilling to pursue a romantic relationship with because you wouldn't be happy and you love yourself and they're not giving you what you need to be happy. So that's how you can that's another thing you can do. Look at, am I actually getting what I want? Like, be for real. Look at the situation for real. Don't live in a fantasy of what could be or what is possible. What is it right now? Your life, all you ever have in life is the present moment. The future that you're thinking about is not even real. You made that up in your imagination. There's no such thing as the future. There's a such thing as the future. You could be dead in 20 minutes. That could be your fucking future. You don't know what the future holds. There's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as a past either, really. The past is nothing but a memory. It's something you're conjuring up and bringing back. It doesn't exist. It's over. It's done. It doesn't exist. And the future doesn't exist. The only thing you have is now. So the best thing to do is be living in the present moment. What's right now? So if you look at the situation right now and this person is not treating you the way that you know you deserve to be treated, you're not able to share in that tender love that you really want to share with somebody, where you really want to reveal yourselves to somebody, you really want to be open, you really want to connect, you want to, have that acceptance, you want to offer that acceptance to somebody else. Like, you want to be in love. You want love. And then here this person is, they're not even responding. How I'm gonna be in love with you? And what I mean by in love, I'm talking about the romantic part. Okay, we can't be in love. It's not gonna happen. I can't be in love with this. She's not fucking lovable. You know what I mean? It just, and I don't mean it's not lovable and the person is unlovable. You could very much love the person, but it's kind of like stuff like that is very, I don't know. For me, it becomes unattractive. I'm not feeling it. I ain't feeling the love. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then romantically, I can't be attracted if I can't feel the love. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, let me see if there's something else really quick. Oh, another thing about lust. Yes, this is something I wanted to bring up. Lust keeps things at a fantasy level without wanting to discuss real feelings. You don't want to get too real because you don't want to push them away. All that type of shit, that's lust. Okay, that's not a component of love. Because a component of true love, you're able to do that and you're able to work through it with one another. The love is still there. You're both still accepting of each other. There's compassion, there's understanding. You attempt to understand them and how they feel. They do the same thing for you. It's supposed to be a mutual back and forth. We're talking about healthy love relationships, if that's what you want. It's not really, when you look at these relationships and people say relationships are so hard. Yes, unhealthy ones that you should have been out of a long fucking time ago. Those are very hard. And you get yourself in that situation because you don't love yourself. You're not spending enough time loving yourself first, and there's no substitute for that. So you cannot find love in the arms of another when you haven't found it in here first. You can't. Because you can't even understand the concept fully. You don't know the feeling. You still need it from somebody else. You're still lacking too much to even stand in that position to be able to say the things that I'm saying. Yeah, and lust, of course, there's a lot of focus on the physicality. Okay, so it's a lot of, with lust, there's a lot of ignoring of other things. There's a lot of not looking at other very important factors, but they're kind of being overlooked. The lust is pushing you to overlook them, to want to still proceed in a romantic way. And then the self love will keep you there. I mean, the lack of self love will keep you there. So you can kind of just be on this perpetual cycle of bullshit. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. I really hope that was helpful. That is a topic that I really felt like, when I got that message about, talking about it, I was like, yes, definitely, definitely. So kudos to you, to the young lady that brought that topic up, because I think it's information that needed to be talked about, and it's going to help so many people. And you were, all because of you. You made that happen. So thank you so very much. So much love to you, and so much love to all of you guys. I hope that you're having a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day. I love you guys tons. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.